Welcome back to Owl 003. Today we're going to do a target reveal for a target I've been working on. I did about 3 sessions on this. The tasking was the the viewer describes and sketches the most important activity that President Biden did on the 19th of May, 2022. So supposedly right around this day, he had a meeting with Podesta and some like other high intel people about this UFO topic and whatnot. So I want to read a little bit out of this article. There's a 9-minute video of Biden and Podesta meeting aliens, head of top alien tech firm to testify soon, claim UFO researcher. Just so you guys know, I really don't have a big vested interest in this topic. Never seen an alien. But time and time again, they seem to pop up in my tasking and in my sessions. So I don't know. But here's what I got. So it seems like the waiting time is over. UFO disclosure is imminent. There's growing skepticism and indifference toward whistleblower David Grush's claims that the U.S. federal government has hidden information about recovered extraterrestrial spacecraft from Congress. Republican leaders have dismissed potential witnesses, and NASA officials have reportedly withdrawn from an upcoming hearing on UFOs. However, 2 Republican lawmakers leading to an investigation still intend to hold a public hearing on July 26th. U.S. Representative Anna Paulina Luna confirms the hearing date and mentions that the names of witnesses will be released in a week before the event. Luna and Rep. Tim Burchett are facing pressures from the Pentagon and NASA after announcing their investigations into UFOs, also known as UAPs. NASA has stopped cooperating with the investigation, leading to speculation of a cover-up. Despite the challenges, Luna and Burchett remain determined to hold the hearing and promise an impressive lineup of witnesses. If necessary, Burchett is even willing to hold a field hearing in his own front yard. The hearing is scheduled for the last week of July before Congress goes on recess. Meanwhile, Steve Sprague, a UFO researcher who studied the UAP phenomenon for over 30 years, claimed that an aerospace executive would come forward and share the information during the upcoming congressional hearing on UAPs. This unidentified insider is describing a C-level executive within the United States-based company, which, according to Sprague, is a top firm reverse engineering alien technology. According to the insider, aliens not only exist, but have been present on Earth for at least 5 millennia, if not longer. Startlingly, the individual revealed the existence of at least 2 civilizations currently residing on our planet, humans and a group known as the Ganzi, originating from a distant part of our galaxy, roughly 40 light years away. The Ganzi are characterized as technologically advanced beings who possess knowledge far surpassing humanity's capability. One of the most chilling aspects of disclosure centered around Ganzi's technological superiority. The insider explains the technology recovered and possessed by humans is composed of terrestrial components manipulated in a manner that exceeds human understanding. These materials created by aliens involves elements and physics beyond our comprehension. The Ganzi, however, refuse to share their technology with humanity, fearing dire consequences of us wielding power beyond our current evolutionary stage. The insider emphasized the vast technological gap between human and the Ganzi, stating that they are millions of years ahead of us. They warned that humanity's very existence could be threatened without the proper knowledge to manipulate these advanced materials. Humans were compared to protozoa on the technological scale, highlighting how far we have yet to evolve. Disturbingly, the insider also shares incidents involving encounters with the Ganzi. One notable event involved the disintegration of an F-15 fighter jet by a particle beam technology wielded. See my crop circle session. Technology wielded by extraterrestrial beings. The astonishing video evidence showcased a green beam hitting the side of the aircraft, which subsequently turned to ash without leaving any debris. Further analysis of the footage revealed the presence of extraterrestrial occupants, commonly referred to as the Greys, characterized by their small bodies, large heads, and prominent eyes. While the Ganzi were not described as inherently malevolent, they view humanity as an annoyance akin to flies. However, the insider cautioned that provoking or interfering with their mission could lead to dire consequences. Reports of lost pilots and destroyed ships and encounters with the Ganzi underscore the potential dangers of crossing paths with these technologically advanced beings. These shocking revelations come as anticipation mounts for the upcoming congressional hearing on UAPs. The insider has promised to come forward and share their information with the public during the event, which is expected to shed further light on the existence of extraterrestrial life in the presence of UFOs. Sprague writes that the insider revealed to him that the Ganzi can manipulate matter in ways beyond human comprehension. They have a deep understanding of DNA manipulation, enabling them to increase lifespans indefinitely and cure or prevent diseases. It's even speculated that they have experimented on humans, possibly for reasons such as galactic war or slave labor. Perhaps one of the most chilling revelations shared by the insider relates to nuclear power. They stated unequivocally that the Ganzi vehemently oppose humanity's use of nuclear weapons. Any attempt to engage in large-scale nuclear conflict would be met with severe consequences, potentially leading to a complete shutdown of human society. The Ganzi have made it clear that they will not tolerate actions that could jeopardize the Earth or their larger objectives. Okay. So anyway, so back on this date, it was said that this meeting had taken place, I guess. That's what I got. So the structure, I'm in the structure. This feels centralized. Getting a nervous energy here. Multi-level. AOL Break Hybrid Academy. Feels isolated. Get the sense of favoritism. AOL Break. AOL Break Auctioneer. Because it's just this big structure. I'm in a structure here. Okay, so I'm feeling like this secluded. It almost feels like these guys are in some kind of a secret area type of thing. So, what's funny about this target is I actually did. The tasker gave me the wrong date at first, and I was literally following Joe Biden around the White House, like doing all this just regular, working stuff. And then I got retasking to the actual date, and it's where I bumped into this. So, I'm getting this feeling of preliminary action, correspondence, this idea of solidarity, sense of confinement. So this came up a lot, bribery. Basically, I thought was happening was like an exclusive deal. I thought this guy was really scared, shocked by what he was being told, and we'll see with some of the stuff I got later on. But intangibles, hybrid nation of elders. So I had like ET interview on some of my AOLs, and it's interesting. Sometimes it seems like these guys really. Let me explain it like this. I got a lot of sketches in here, Joe, and some of the other humans, but whenever I would go to like sketch who they were talking to, I couldn't really sketch them. I couldn't get a. It's almost like they were blocking my perception of what they look like. But I did have an AOL early on of a tall gray. But like as I went on, I just kind of like I knew I could tell there was a size difference in scale, but I kind of just settled on not human. Got this feeling of the occult, disturbing news, orders, like orders to execute, primary. Domineering. I felt like he was wearing a mask at this time. Like I had like, like a facial mask. Um, like globalist, conformity, exclusionary. This feeling of indecision. Like we are doing this. Okay. Um, so, from my perspective, this guy's in this meeting and he is in the underside of the leverage situation, meaning these guys are kind of telling him like it is. This is what we're doing. This is how it's going to be. So, feeling of convincing, determined. I felt like this guy was upset. I had this guy like crying a lot. Like I felt like this, like literally this stuff is just so big. It's almost too big for him to handle. But I had this old guy that was like upset, like an introduction, fearful. Like, what are you going to do to me? Elderly male, and again, bribery, large sums of money. I feel like someone here is in a catatonic state. It's like this guy was in shock. Um, like an egregious act of servitude. This feeling of mercy. Have I not served you well? Forgiving. So I got a sense this felt like fiscal properties. I got a sense of an insurgency, a heated exchange. Um, Microbiology probably should be in intangibles. A dictator. I got a sense of a risk taker. See, look at some of my AOLs, like bribery of mankind. I get this feeling of an introduction. A block exchange. That's in AOL. But a master plan. Services rendered. Like I did my part, and now you got to pay me. So I get this sense of like divergent, planned, organized, like a coup in my AOL. This infrastructure, AOL, like government assets. So I get this sense of insurgency and forced entry. Clandestine. AOL signal, like if you don't act, then neither will I. Like at a crossroads. So I asked myself, like, what's most noteworthy about this target? And I got a sense of security. Something feels taken here, like no choice. I get the sense of a preliminary action associated with this. AOL signal, like first we do this and then we could do that. Okay. AOL, like a revolt. Okay, so someone does not agree with what is happening here. Feels egregious. Like a crime against man and nature. Like lost in translation. Like something being opened. So again, I get a structure, and I get a structure in life form. This idea of a supply. Oh, AOL. It's AOL. Arranged. Out loud here. This feeling of indignation. AOL break dangerous. Abuse. So again, I feel like I'm in this like hidden area. So there's times like when I draw. Actually, it's really, this is the first time I really could speak to this. Is I never really had a hard time like. Well, that's not necessarily true, but most of the times you just draw. But I feel like I could not, like I knew these people were talking with someone, but I just couldn't put hands on them. So I got an indication like 3. I kept getting like, felt like my subconscious was telling me like there's maybe 3 people in the room. Okay. Dark spaces. like a captive state. And again, I got this like this really upset guy. AOL break escort. So I feel like this guy's like getting escorted in this like down this area. Okay, disheveled man. Like, come with me. This guy feels astonished, scared. And again, there's a stature difference with some of these people. Okay, with some of these beings, it was like it's almost like somebody's a lot taller. Rebellious. So now I'm getting into. I think I'm getting more into Joe. Destitute, like old, psychotic, disturbed. Okay, when I did this sketch, so you get like a sense of like elderly, wrinkly, but it's almost like your mind's at like I see. There's sometimes like I see. It's almost like I see this much of their, and the rest comes in kinesthetically. But like I could see his eyes real bright and excuse me. Again, he's really upset by what he's hearing here. Distraught. Like this is no way to live. So I kept getting this hidden encampment. There's a hidden encampment involved in this. So again, we get a referendum. I get a sense of a destructive outcome. AOL Winter Soldier. Session break. Okay. Went back in. Seated. EI break scorned. Voices. Okay. AI break. I feel a sense of injustice here. Okay. AOL break. Sealed documents. Which is that. Forged. S4. Like a handoff. Egregious is what that should say. I got that a lot. This is egregious action. Okay, so now I'm AOL break government worker. I'm getting these guys like with the pips and stuff, and I think it's either what they're wearing or it's my way of telling myself that this is government regimented, that kind of thing. So I got this. Okay, so this guy's at a desk. AOL break survivability. So again, I'm getting this. Like this like I AOL like Klaatu, like when the Earth stands still, like this big. So again, there's a size difference between some of these guys, but like military personnel is what it felt like. Formalized discussion. Okay. I think this is Sleepy Joe right here, in a mask. AOL break imprisoned, AOL break Ragnarok, AOL break like letting someone in. Okay, so here again, it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The better you get at this, when you practice a lot like I do, it's not necessarily that impressions get stronger, because that's not really what it feels like to me. It's just more that you're more sensitive you get more and more sensitive to very, very, very subtle information. So when I go to draw that, like this guy on the right, like I couldn't express him, but I'm like just like it's not human. Whatever that guy is, he's not human. That's my impression. And Joe is, I'm assuming this is Joe. He's very scared. Like, come on in, have a seat. Inviting, like welcome to the family. Sense of reason, like reasoning with someone. So then you get some of these, and I put it in kind of signal, but you get these phrases, like the phonetic phrases, like, I had the other one where it was, "Have I not served you well?" You don't need to do this. I think these are probably, phrases that are either said or thought at the target. Convincing. It's regulation and ordinance. I get a sense of reassurances. Argumentative, explanatory. So I staged 5 a couple of these. Like a determination to execute or not. So reassurances, people, places. Reassurances, services. Bribery, seclusion, upbringing. Stealth, territory, and exclusion. It's a topic. Subject, stealth, bribery. So basically, explanatory. People, take and release, execute, cross-examination, territory, execution, preliminary design. Topics, release, execute, determination. So big picture, guys. He's in this meeting with these humans and non-humans, and they seem to have the upper hand in the conversation. Whatever they're telling them is scaring the shit out of them. Empirical, that's what that is. Defense spending and spending measures. Okay, calculable. Defendant, transport. Okay. Targets a structure with multiple lives present where this seems to be a meeting or discussion of importance taking place. There is a large multi-level structure where this is taking place. This feels secluded. Preliminary action, correspondence, and solitary confinement feel part of this target. Solidarity and bribery are associated with this target. I am picking up on a hybrid nation of elders, which, that's how my subconscious kicked it out. An elder race, that seems to be what they call themselves, or in a corrupt influence. I get a sense of the occult, disturbing news, orders, and a domineering presence here. Conformity, exclusionary, and decisive. There is a male here that is upset, feels like someone is in a catatonic state. I get the impression of an egregious act. I sense a fiscal aspect to this target, an insurgency, and a heated exchange. I get the impression of a risk taker here, an introduction and a master plan. Planned and organized, infrastructure, and the sense of a divergence here. This feels clandestine, a sense of forced entry. Security feels important here. Something feels taken. A preliminary action is taken. Someone does not agree with what is taking place here. There is a hidden encampment associated with this target. A destructive outcome. Regimented personnel here. Government defense spending. Regulation and ordinance. There are reassurances involved in this discussion. End of session. I didn't put the time on that one. So, that is what I got, guys. Again, I don't know what any of these targets are until after I get feedback. I work everything blind. So, these things are either exist or they don't. And if they don't exist, I can't imagine why they just keep popping up, because again, I don't have any real big investment one way or the other. So this is my session on it. I invite you to throw it in your target pool or task it out to somebody else and see what you get. And I'd love to hear what you get. And we'll see you next time.